Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Yvonne from GingerChickRehab. I am so glad to have you back checking out what I am up to. So yes, I went to another sale. So this one was just across the border into Indiana, and it was so cute. The ad on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, said that she opened at 8:36. So that kind of catches your attention there. So I got down there. I'm on my own now because Alex has now moved out. So that's okay. This wasn't a type of sale I think he would have wanted to go to anyway, but you just never know. So she was doing her sale as she had room on her tables because she had limited tables. She was bringing more stuff out. I did not go back though. Anyway, so it was all donations. So she wanted you to figure out what you thought the stuff was worth at garage sale prices. Make me a good deal that I'll accept anyway, basically. So what I got today, I offered her $25 for, and then she was like, oh gosh, no, 20 is good enough. So let me share with you what I got for $20. So yes, I did pick up this rusty crusty cross. Oh my gosh, it is heavy. You can see the face on it, kind of like one of those faces that you'd put on a tree. It's got a nice hanger on it, and I wouldn't do anything to this. I think this is beautiful, probably other than take the Made in China tag off. Absolutely think this is beautiful. I love to run across crosses. Oh, then I spied this plate. I watch a lot of the Crazy Lamp Lady. Do you all watch Jocelyn? So it was just, I don't know, it caught my eye. The colors caught my eye, and not so much the person in the middle, like sit a candle on that, but it was made in Italy. I love the pottery and the make of it all. I think it did have a candle. It needs a bath, but that's okay. Yeah, so I just thought the colors were just beautiful. That's what caught my eye. There's maybe a little flea bite chippage here, but nothing that takes away from the piece by any means. And then she did have a tray, so yeah, it needs a little, she was an incense burner. I commented I could actually smell, which is, it has to be pretty intense for me to smell since COVID, but so this would probably had some incense or candles but that's okay because I don't care because I'll be making it over. So it's just a nice metal tray. I love the detail. I love the handles. So we definitely know that this one will be getting a makeover. And it's funny because it actually unscrews, not sure why, but then they have the little feety, felty, rubbery things there. So this was a Hobby Lobby piece, and for some reason it says $2.99, so maybe she bought it on a discount too. So I picked up this little minute, I think it's like a minute timer. I like these little things. I think they're very neat. I like that it had a base, so you could have it without or with, and just a fun little shelf sitter. I like the clear glass and the black of the sand that's in it. And I picked up this. This definitely has the boho. Let me untangle the. So it's just this nice little globe. I call it a globe. Yeah, it definitely has that boho type of. I wouldn't do anything to this. I think it's beautiful as is. The color, the bronzy, goldy color, antique bronze, I guess, goes well with the amber of this. So I've actually resold ones similar, not the same color, like this before. So I thought that was a great find. And then talking about little things that hang, this colorful parrot caught my eye. Oh my gosh, look at how sweet he is. Yeah, and so he's a little planter, and he actually says, oh, so I could read it there, but in this lighting I can't. Something Japan. There's see how little that wording is. So I knew it was a little bit more on the vintage side, but I did think it was super sweet. Love the colors. Oh my gosh. Can you see him just hanging from a plant stand? Oh my gosh. And somebody's covered porch, and you know, where you have all your plants. Oh my gosh, and I don't feel any flea bites, any chips, any cracks. He's in great condition. So now I told you the boho, and now we're going over to the farmhouse because look at this pig. Oh my gosh. So it is a metal pig. Look at his tail. Nothing I need to do to this piece. He is just super cute as is. So I snagged him right up. I thought his little mouth is hilarious. So yep, loved him. And then this one's a little bit heavier. Yes, I did get that chicken. Oh my gosh. There again, nothing that I have to do to the chicken. I'll probably see if I can match that a little bit. It did have a little chippage off of it now that I see that. But I think I can match that up better with some little bit of antiquing wax. You know, it's that perfectly imperfect, but he's still cute. Still cute, and I can make that better. So, yeah. I might have passed him if I would have noticed that there, but it didn't stick out too bad outside. So let's see. So then my last two pieces I got at her sale was this chicken wire frame, and we've all been down this road. But I liked this of it. I like the natural and the whitewash of it all. I'll take these off. I'll do something different with this plasticky baby breath. Yeah, so I do have an idea for this one, and it does not include painting the frame. And then there was, oh my goodness. And then there was this one. Oh my goodness. So, I think she had some original artworks there. I'll probably redonate that, even though it's pretty. I wanted the frame for a couple bucks. So, yeah. I love that frame, and you all know that I like to paint those up and pop those details and make them look crusty. So yeah, definitely loved running across this. So now we're just going to jump right into the makeovers. There's just a few pieces here that I envision making over, including this chicken wire frame that I already love the frame. So all I'm going to be doing now is just taking off what the previous owner put on. So now this chicken wire has one of the lines in it, so I'm going to go ahead and put that towards the bottom. I don't really think it matters which up or down it goes, but yes, I'm going to be using that cotton wreath that I just picked up at that other yard sale. And this is a pretty easy makeover because all I'm doing is taking some black wire that I purchased from a hardware store. I like the black because it's not shiny silver, so you don't see it as much. And I'm just going to wrap it around after I figured out if I have the wreath centered or not, and then just attach it to that chicken wire that way. And then my last little thing is to put a hanging system on the back. Now this frame and the wreath itself are very lightweight, so I'm just using one of those hammer-in ones, just making sure that it's centered. Now next up is that tray. So I already had taken the screws and taken it apart so I could wash the metal separately where the paint was all just chipping off. And then I need to sand this bottom. I think it has more than just candle wax on it. I don't really know what's going on here. So it actually is a wood, but a very light plywood type of wood. So I'm going to try to take as much of the paint off of it as I can. Now I did get all the paint I could removed. It's nice and flat, both sides, but you can see there is a burn mark. So it makes a little divot in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill it in with some wood putty just so I don't have that divot, and I don't know if that black will seep through what my final finish look, so it's just best to fill it in. To get this piece primed and both sides done, I just used the Rust-Oleum paint and primer in the flat black, and now I'm getting it sealed in with some polyacrylic. So I must have lost the footage of me spraying this with polyacrylic, and plus when I washed it, that outer paint was just coming off. So hopefully my finish will stay on a lot better. So what I'm doing is I am using the Rust-Oleum's chalk paint, but I have a mixture of the white linen and then the chiffon, which kind of makes it not so bright of a white. So I have a little can that I have it always mixed together. I want to be able to water distress all these beautiful details on this piece, so that is why I'm using the chalk paint. But yep, I'm just going to go ahead and brush it on. So it really only took me one coat of paint to paint this. So now I'm just going in with a wet wipe to water distress, and then I have a dry paper towel to dab off the water that's left behind. Sometimes you get that when you have black underneath and the white, it kind of leaves a gray chalky mess. So I just tap that off so I can see that black. I guess the tray part decided to crackle, which is perfectly fine. It's that imperfectly perfect that I'm going for on this tray anyway. So when I went to water distress this, the wood was so dry that it just soaked the paint in. So I didn't want to distress it all, so I had to go in with some 220 sandpaper to get some of that paint off and distress it. Then I sit it off to the side and let it re-dry before spraying it with a top coat of polyacrylic. If you spray it while that's still slightly wet, you'll get crackles. So next up is this. Oh, I absolutely love the frame. I'm sorry, I'll just redonate the original artwork. So I'm like, oh, okay, nails. You never know how it's held in. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the nails to remove the artwork along with the hanging system, and that I will be replacing. So what gets me with these old frames are all the detail, and I love them to be beat up and perfectly imperfect and have pieces and parts disappeared and gone, or I really don't care. I just love these frames. So what I'm doing here is I'm spraying shellac on it because I want to do the crackle effect. Yep, you're right. I'm going to be doing the crackle effect. But I'm finding out that I'm missing the step of not priming these with black or anything like that, that they're bleeding through some of my white paint. So to prevent that, I'm pre-thinking I'm going to go ahead and give it a couple coats of shellac to prevent that bleed through from happening. So to achieve even more of an aged look of crackled paint, I'm just using Dollar Tree glue. That's it. Yep, it's pretty simple. So I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze it out onto the frame, on the entire frame, and then I'll just take a paintbrush and brush it on. And I'm really trying to push it into all the detail of this frame. Now I use a sprayer to apply the paint, but you can also brush it on, and it's one coat. It's a heavy coat of paint so that it soaks in with that glue, and that's what makes it all crackle. So I put a thin coat on, I immediately put it right on top of it. I get a little bit smaller crackles that way. So now I'm going in with some 80 grit sandpaper because there's a lot of texture on this frame, and I want a little bit more of that wood to pop through in these details. Okay, so how many of my regulars thought I was going to be having Chris put pallet wood in the back of that frame? Just with it being a double frame, I just thought that would be a little bit too massive. So we have this leftover piece of beadboard that he's going to just trace the original artwork and get the sizing of what he needs. Now I know this beadboard is really dry, so I do want to stain it to pop it so you can see it, but I don't want to use straight antiquing wax right off the bat on it because it may go darker than I want. So I've got my watered down mixture, and isn't it funny how different woods take differently? So with my watered down mixture, I have a little bit of the Waverly ink chalk paint, and look how this wood is somehow grabbing the black. Even though I stirred this up, yep, it's grabbing the black, which is okay. I just wanted something to fill it in and make it be wet, and then I'll apply the antiquing wax over it. I get a little bit more control that way. So with the Perfectly Perfect, this really isn't a square piece, so I can't really put any glue to glue it in. You probably will see it squish out from the front, so we came up with the idea of just using the little screw-in build thingies. I always forget what they're called, but you use them like to keep glass in a china cabinet. These are going to work perfectly. I didn't want to put nails on them because I don't want nails against somebody's wall accidentally scraping their walls. So these ended up working. Now I did put 3 per side because that piece of beadboard is kind of on the heavy side. Now that I have the hanging system on and this back is all dealt with and that beadboard is in there securely, I'm flipping the piece over, and now you can see that I let it dry overnight, and it's still a little bit in your face with that Waverly antiquing wax, but I knew that it probably would be, but that is perfectly fine. What I'm going to do now is just take some of that Kills paint and primer that I painted the frame with and dry brush it on just to tone that down a notch. So thank you so much for going to the sale with me. Let me know which item I found, I brought home with me, was your favorite, along with which one I made over or just spruced up a little bit was your favorite also. So again, thanks for going along with me. And if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you're new and you're checking out this channel for the first time and you liked what you saw, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know when I've uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye.